Coming live from the HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSC Hawaii on the Hawaii Pacific University campus at Aloha Tower Marketplace, here's your host, Hawaii Pacific University's Vice President and Chief Marketing Communications Officer, Jeffrey Rich.
Aloha Sharks Nation! We are back and broadcasting live once again from the fabulous HPU Esports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii. We were on break the last couple of weeks, as many of our HPU student athletes headed home for the holidays, and today is our first show back. We're here for the new year and the start of the spring term, and we've got a special treat today. We are going to be talking with the HPU Athletics Department Administration to hear about all the great things planned for the spring, what's happening with our teams, events, games. We'll get a glimpse into what to look forward to as we learn about the spring term. So we've got a lot to cover, so I want to jump right in and introduce today's guests. But before we do, just a quick reminder that you can always text questions in at 808-888-5481, and we'd be interested to hear from our listeners today. If you're interested in inquiring about any particular program or what's happening at HPU Sports, please shoot us a text message. First, let me welcome back to the show HPU Athletics Director Debbie Snell and Associate Athletics Director Mo Roberson. And you know her as one of the show's producers. She is HPU's Sports Information Director who keeps us in the know about all the happenings across HPU sports programs with her weekly updates, Baylei Furman. Also with us this morning is my co-host, HPU Assistant Director of Strategic Communications, Mr. Greg Fishbach. Yes.
Morning.
And don't let me forget our in-studio producer from the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, Mr. Paul Brecht. Welcome, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Wow, we have a full house. So, hey, before we jump into sports, I'm interested to know, how was everybody's winter break? Anything fun or interesting happen? Greg and Paul, did you guys stick around the island, or did you head out?
I stuck around. Lucky enough, my family came out. My wife's family came out. We got to spend a bunch of time together, and the work they let off me a little bit, so I got a chance to spend time there. So
yeah, they usually got you running all over the island, covering.
Yeah, I got to work hard for all the beautiful people out here. A lot of people love sports, and got to make sure that they get them.
Very nice. Well, give us one fun personal thing you were able to break away and do over the break.
I snorkeled over the break. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
Got a chance to see a bunch of the honu, the turtles, and whatnot. That was a good time. It was also my first time snorkeling out here. So
wow, where did you go?
Just out here, Ala Moana area.
Moana.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Very nice. There's plenty of great places to snorkel. My personal recommendation for anybody listening that's got access to the island is go to Electric Beach. Anybody
where's
snorkel
that?
at Electric Beach?
No.
It's by they call it that because it's by the electrical power plant. Now the cool thing about this is they've got this massive hot water discharge pipe, and it shoots hot water out at a really high rate, and all the hot water attracts a lot of tropical fish. So the sea life there is amazing. But something crazy that I've seen people do is go down right into the water spout, and it blasts you out about 30 feet, and you pop up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's and
Have
the
you
water.
tried that?
No, I'm not going to do that. No,
Wouldn't recommend
it's
it.
You have
like
not done
going. I'll watch people jump off to rock, but I'm not going to jump off it myself at this point. No, but that was fun, and definitely a good place to go. Greg, what about you? Anything fun that you did over
I
the break?
spent a lot of time at the beach as well. North Shore, I went snorkeling at, Turtle Bay has this nice little bay out there.
Yeah.
And I went out, and the water was really, really low. And I swam out, and I came face to face with a turtle. Like, I was like a foot away from it. And he looked up at me like, "What are you doing here?"
Wow.
He was just totally shocked. Yeah, so, you have to swim away quickly, but
Turtles,
huge, just sitting there.
They've got to
Yeah.
be smart animals and
Yeah.
acquire a lot of wisdom over 100, sometimes 200
I know.
years of
They're amazing.
life. I'll never forget the time I was on my paddleboard at Ala Moana Beach, and I was kind of rolling with the current, so it was moving pretty fast. And all of a sudden, literally like a foot off my board, a turtle popped up.
Yeah.
And it was headed to intersect where my board was going. And I kid you not, this turtle lifted its head up, looked me straight in the eye, lifted up its fin, and waved me past it. I tell that story, and nobody believes me. But
No, I believe it.
yeah,
Yeah, they're really
I
smart.
think I've told that story on this
Yeah.
show before. But anyway, a real occurrence. So, so it's great that you got to have a little bit of free time. I know it was nice to get a week or so off. I headed back and visited family on the East Coast, spent a little time in New York City, where 3 of my 4 kids got together, and then headed east to part of the country where Paul and I know quite well, kind of central western New York, and visited parents in Buffalo. So so when we get to sports or to Super Bowl predictions later, you probably know who
I would think you're probably a Bills fan, right?
Yes, we'll get to football a little bit later. We are going to do our Super Bowl predictions at the end of the show.
We should. We really should.
Well, let's jump into and bring our guests into the conversation. So Debbie, Mo, and Baylei. I know HPU athletics never really rests, so I'm guessing you guys had a few things happening related to HPU athletics over the break. Let's hear a little bit about
Sure.
what you had going.
Well, so the break for us is different from the break that others get at the university. When class is over, that doesn't mean athletics is over. So our break is quite a bit shorter. We have a lot going on during break because it's a time that we can compete, have our games, have our tournaments, and the athletes are not missing class. So it's a really popular time to have tournaments, which we did. Now we do have the 1 week NCAA mandated break where our athletes, coaches, teams can't practice or participate. So we had a 5-day stretch of time when we were actually off. So we can talk about what we did then.
So that's 2 weeks required.
1 week.
1 week required break, and that's all D1,
That's
D2,
it.
and D3. All sports programs have to take that. Okay.
Yes, mandated by the NCAA, so that the athletes get a break. Then they can go home for Christmas. They can visit their family or have family come here. A lot of family, as you mentioned, do come
Why
here.
would you not?
Why would you not? Absolutely. So
Exactly.
we did get those days. On those days, I will tell you what I did. I slept in.
What is sleeping in, Debbie?
Well, I get up at 5 a.m.
I know. I was going to say
So
it's probably 6 a.m.
Probably 6,
6.
6:30. My son wakes up really, really early, but that's sleeping in for
Yeah.
us. We get
Okay.
to sleep in, and then I love plants. I love to work out in the yard, in the garden, in the plants. So I did that a little bit. It was very relaxing. It was my happy place. So I did that. But so Baylei, what did you do?
We had hoops in Hawaii tournament,
Okay.
like right up until almost Christmas Day. So me and our facilities person were running the event and supporting Julian Nakanishi the best we could. And that was fun. He was fun to run the event with. He was easy, not too much stress like how we usually do, but it was a fun event. He made it fun.
Well, that was work. Did you do anything fun on a personal basis?
I had a volleyball tournament.
Okay.
That was about it.
Baylei coaches.
Yes.
Coach.
I coach a club team.
All right, well, it's still a little work related. Did you get away and do anything
Beach
purely,
time?
purely for
No,
fun? and
hiking?
Volleyball is fun. Coaching is fun.
Pure sports.
I guess
Yes,
my
it is.
brother
Pure sports.
came in for the holidays, so
Okay.
we got to spend some time together and go to the beach. And I met his girlfriend. So
No, I said he'd been to Hawaii before.
he's from. Yeah, we're both
Oh, you're
from
both
here.
from. That's right. Okay.
But he works in California, El
Okay.
Segundo. So he works at Raytheon. So him coming home kind of can be a challenge sometimes.
Yeah.
But he was able to come home for break, so it was nice.
Nice. Nice. Well, what about you, Mo? How was your break?
Much like Debbie's, I just spent time kind of resting and doing that. But I'm a big, the college bowl games. I try and watch every one I can, get a hold of. So
Nice.
just spent time at home.
Who's your team? Do you have a team you follow in college?
I'm a Trojan.
Trojan. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow. Yeah, I was watching that documentary the other day on the USC Texas historic game of when Leinart was quarterback, and boy, that was a good.
that's a bad.
That's a bad
for a
memory.
USC fan, probably not a good thing to bring up. Well, so it's great that everybody had a wonderful break and got time to do at least a little bit of personal stuff, even if personal intersects with business as it does for Baylei. But yeah, let's jump back into sports. So we're back into the swing. We've got everybody back on campus. We began classes on Monday. I know some of the sports programs, as we talked about, with the exception of that 1 week break, we're at it. So give us a little taste of other things that were happening over the break that relate to our sports programs.
Sure. Well, like Baylei mentioned, we had a tournament right before break, a tournament right after break. Those are all preseason for our winter sport, which is basketball here. It's the only sport we offer and support sponsor over the break, over the winter. So we did a lot of basketball,
Yep.
and that's still going on. We've started. Baylei can give us some updates here, but we've started our conference, Pac West conference play for basketball. Men's and women's basketball have been really doing great and playing strong in Pac West Conference right now. So that is really going on. And tonight there's a big game. We play the top 2 basketball teams, sports teams in our conference tonight and on Saturday. Paul will be there broadcasting, so that'll be super fun. So, yeah, it has been basketball over the last few weeks, and our teams.
And it was before the break too, because we had that
right before the
Spectrum
break.
game that we
Yeah,
broadcast.
yes,
and
yes.
Paul, you were commentator for that game.
Paul
weren't you?
was on air, and it was awesome, right,
That was
Paul?
an exciting game.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. It's been fun to work, and it's fun definitely giving a lot of exposure to these HPU basketball teams, kind of like you guys both mentioned. Later tonight, we will have on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network both the men's and the women's contests. The women going up against the 6-0 Azusa Pacific team, and then the men, obviously the team that knocked them out from the Pac West tournament last year, so a big one
That's
there.
right.
Won't want to miss either one of those. Those are coming up at 4:30 and 6:30 here on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM, AM 760, and maybe HawaiiSportsRadio.com, but hopefully the YouTube as well.
Nice.
Great. Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, thanks
that's
for that
awesome.
update.
Baylei, what
Well,
can-
hey, before we jump in, I'm getting the word here from Paul. We got to do a quick commercial break. So let's hold that thought.
Okay.
We're going to come back and talk more about women's and men's basketball after the break. So before we jump in, I just want to thank one of our amazing sponsors, Giovanni Pastrami. Giovanni Pastrami, Waikiki's premier sports bar. You guys been there? Hopefully, yes. Everybody says yes.
I was great.
No.
Great sports bar. No, oh, you've been there.
All right, well, we're all going to make a point to go there.
We
and
all have
certainly
to
our
go.
listeners
Yeah,
should
we're
go.
all going to have to go.
Yeah, but
We should
big
do a show
shout out.
from there.
We should. We should talk to them. We could have some pastrami.
That'd be fun.
over that.
Yes, that's
All right,
a great idea.
well, I'm getting the hook here. We got to take a
Okay.
quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back broadcasting live from the DSE Esports Arena here on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University. And just a reminder that you will catch us every morning, Thursday morning, live at 9 o'clock. Or you can go to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network website and catch this show on demand. And if you want to see all the shenanigans happening here in studio, go to YouTube and check out our recorded live stream.
Yeah.
That's right. Good idea. Do
Remind people.
Yep. Oh, and as another reminder, don't forget, text in those questions if you have any.
What's that number?
Geez, I knew you'd ask me that. We're
808.
I know it's 808.
888-5481.
Thank you, Greg. You're quick on the draw.
Good job.
I appreciate that. All right, well, let's get back into basketball. So we were just talking about the turnaround from a little bit of a slower start for women's basketball, and boy, they've really come on lately.
They really have. They've had a great start to the conference season. They've played some tough competition early, which is good, right? Test it out early, see how they're going to do, see what adjustments you need to make. And they have done that. Coach Ray does a great job of working with them, and he's a very detailed person. He likes to play a fast game, but also will slow it down when he needs to and play our game instead of the opponent's game. So he's doing a great job with our team, and they're really playing well right now. Baylei, what do you think?
I know it's been exciting to watch the women, especially because, like you said, they kind of had a slow start. And just that last game against Vanguard, giving them their first loss in Pac West, that was a big thing for them. They won Pac West Team of the Week, and a couple players have been really standing out. Lupe and Megan Jones, she's just defensively unreal, getting blocks, rebounds. Might not be the best offensive player, but watching her defensively is great.
Defense does a lot when you clamp down and
Absolutely.
really stifle that other team from their ability to score.
Yes, it makes a big difference. Megan is really making a difference in her play right now. She's playing her role really, really well. She is hard to shoot over. She's so tall, big, long arms, and she's tough. She's strong, and she will stay in there. She knows that she can block shots, and so it's fun to watch her make a difference and then get a turnover, a rebound, a block shot or something so our offense can go to work.
Wow.
So it's really fun to watch.
Well, I was just looking at the
Allison
stat.
Ross is really playing.
Allison
well.
is
Playing out
such
of her mind, yeah.
she's
really
such a great
shooting well,
shooter.
yeah.
Allison is a returning player, and she has. I've watched her for a couple years now. She has a great shot. She's
Yeah.
also very smart. She's a smart basketball player. She sees the floor well. She reads the floor well. So, yeah, Allison, she's a strong one, and Lupe, of course, a great shooter.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's just a really strong and confident shooter on that team.
Yep.
So yeah, they
All
make
around.
up
really,
a great
really
team.
Great. Yeah.
Well, a couple of the
Uh,
stats that really stand out. I mean, man, they held Vanguard to under 17% shooting from the field. That's pretty
That's
good.
really good defense.
And the bench, God, I mean, 32-5 outscoring Vanguard with bench players. Boy,
Exactly. We have
That'll
some
do it.
depth. Yeah.
Yes, and we have Ella Burge coming back tonight, which is going to be a big game for them. Tonight is Azusa Pacific, and they are the reigning champs from Pac West. So I know Coach Ray is not nervous, but excited. I know some of the players are excited to see how their wins will carry over into this game and their momentum.
Yep. Well, it seems like Ella's game really has come together. And you know, it's interesting too. We've had a lot of student athletes on the show, and the last 2 years in particular, how many have been the fifth year graduate student
Exactly,
that got
yeah.
the extra year of eligibility?
Yeah, that's a great opportunity,
yeah.
and Ella has really taken advantage of that. Ella's also a very smart player. She's so unassuming, right? You look at her and you think, oh, she's there, but no, she will get you. She will make those 3-pointers. She will get in there and rebound. She hustles after the ball. She also works for us here at HPU, and she's a great employee, right?
Yep.
Good,
Oh,
good
for sure.
interviewer. I saw her interviews at
Yeah.
commencement.
She's
Anyway,
always
she's a
upbeat.
great
Yeah.
young lady. We are so proud of her
Yeah,
and what
I
she's
agree.
doing on all those.
Well,
in
she's
all those
clearly
things.
got that killer instinct on the court.
She sure
And
does.
really can, sink that shot when she needs to. But no, yeah, Greg and I work with her. She works in the advancement department here alongside the marketing team, and so we see her a few days a week, and just a
She's
great
really good at it,
positive
isn't she?
energy in her
Yes.
office. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's well said. She has very positive energy.
I agree.
Good leader on her team. Her team respects her a great deal, and coaches rely on her a lot. So, yeah, she's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
actually a question I do have for you guys. Maybe you don't know the number offhand. How many of the student athletes at HPU end up finding some work here at HPU? Is it a pretty good number?
I
That's
would
a
imagine it's
great
good
Baylei
number.
question. Baylei and Tui, our facilities and events person,
the
and our
spot.
SID Baylei, they hire a lot of our athletes, but I know they also work other places on campus. But several of them work for us. Yeah, Baylei.
We have a lot of student athletes. We have a few from basketball, a couple from cross country, a few from soccer and volleyball as well, and baseball. So they love being athletics, and it's great having them because they kind of understand how the game
Yes.
should flow and how everything should be ran.
They're
Yeah.
hard workers, very dedicated, love the game. You want that kind of people around all the time, right?
Yeah.
Bring great energy to whatever event they're working.
Good positive energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, just for folks, our listeners, a lot of student athletes and students in general have jobs on campus. Many at the undergrad level have what we'll call work-study jobs. Some
Yes.
of those come as a requirement along with their financial aid package, and then others just apply for a job in certain departments. I know in the marketing department, for example, we have a really comprehensive student workforce strategy. They help us scale our resources, and
Yes,
and the
absolutely.
positive thing for the students is the experiential learning and
Yes.
hands-on they get, at least in our department where they're working on actual real-world marketing campaigns.
Absolutely, yes.
And then, of course, at the grad level, like Ella, they're either working under a structured graduate assistantship where it counts as part of their education
Mm-hmm.
and a requirement, or they can be hired as a graduate assistant by the administrative unit directly.
Exactly.
But I've always thought since I entered higher education that was one of the greatest opportunities as an administrator to scale your resources is to leverage student talent. And
Absolutely,
it's so
yes.
beneficial to them.
They're so smart. They
Yeah.
have such great ideas.
Yep.
They're go-getters. They're not afraid to step up and try something. Not afraid to fail, which is part of learning, right? So we're so proud of them.
I think one of the most gratifying, things that I've seen over my years of hiring and working with students is I can't tell you how many we've brought into, a marketing role as a student and they didn't know anything, not even how to keep a calendar and schedule a meeting, or okay,
Right.
I've got to use email if I'm communicating in a
Yes.
business arena.
Yes.
And to see that transformation happen, especially if you bring in a freshman and they're with you for 3 or 4 years, and by the time that they're ready to graduate and step into a real office environment, they know what to do.
Absolutely.
And I've seen so many students on LinkedIn, for example, that have gotten these amazing jobs at big ad agencies and other marketing departments,
Absolutely.
and it's really rewarding to see.
Absolutely. Well, I will tell you, when we're looking at resumes, we look for experience like that. We want to hire, especially if they're new, incoming, entry-level positions, where we're looking for experience, and on some level, a student athlete who has worked in this environment is one that information, that experience on a resume counts for a lot.
Absolutely.
So it really is helpful.
Well, Baylei, I think continuing to build out the sports information department with some student talent's a good idea. And we were talking earlier about Ella's interviews at commencement. So, yeah, getting maybe her out in the field and capturing some shark sightings.
We actually had a baseball player that did an internship, and he posted a lot for baseball, and his stuff that he did was just unreal. His videography was top notch.
Yep.
And some of it's on Sharks.
Is that Tucker?
Athletics. No,
okay.
His name was Cooper.
Oh, Cooper.
Yes, he was unreal with his videography, and I was just really impressed with what he did. So you're right. A lot of the student athletes, they have hidden talents that they don't want to let us know until later on, and it shows. But it's great.
Yeah. Well, it certainly helps, with the way social media and the creation of content like video is just so a normal part of young people's lives these days, and their ability to create that content. Not even tracking towards a career and something related to it, but it's just sort of a skill that they learn. I guess that's the way it is when you grow up on a mobile phone with access to the technology that we have.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Wow. So basketball, so just kind of wrap up women's basketball. So what are our big things to look forward to in the coming couple of weeks?
They have 2 big games this week. One is tonight against Azusa Pacific, and then the next one is Saturday against Point Loma. Those are going to be 2 big games for them, and just seeing how they do and how they overcome those obstacles these next couple of days.
What do you think their goals are for the next few weeks here as they roll towards the Pac West tournament?
I think it's
to be in that tournament.
Well, I'm assuming they're going to be there with the way that they're
are.
playing right now. But in terms of working on the game or improving areas of the game, what do you think they need to do to make sure they solidify their opportunity?
I know Coach Ray had said that he's trying to work with certain players more on their defense, because it's either they're really good at offense or really good at defense. So he's trying to find that middle ground where they can do both. And he was explaining to me, one of the girls that is a phenomenal offensive player was never taught how to play defense, because she can just shoot. So they just put her on the court and just let her shoot. So that's something that he's been working on with them.
When Coach Ray was on, he seemed to be a defensive-oriented coach, I thought. He didn't expressly say that. But
In fact, he would
seems
say,
like it's his
"Oh,
background."
I'm not."
Right.
But he is.
But he
actually.
seems like his
Very much
defense is key, right? He really wants the players to learn strong defense.
Yeah. Well,
And offense.
depending upon your point of view, you could say the best offense is a strong defense,
Right.
or the best defense is a strong offense.
Yes, both. You got to
You wanna
have
have
both. To win in the Pac West Conference, you got to have both.
Yep.
You got to be able
That's
to do
true.
all that.
That's true.
They had also, after these 2 contests, they head to SoCal for the SoCal a round of institutions in Southern California. So we'll see how they do.
Yeah, for
how
2
they
weeks.
Head into that
Heading
trip.
into the furnace.
Yes.
Right now,
For
literally.
For sure.
Wow. Well, our
Yes.
thoughts go out to our
Blessings to those
friends in
folks.
Southern
Yes.
California right now.
Yes.
So anyway, I got to take a quick break here. So we will be back in a moment. But before we do, I'm going to thank another one of our amazing sponsors, the Bank of Hawaii. Bank of Hawaii is proud to support Hawaii Pacific University athletics, and is the only local bank ranked one of America's most trusted companies by Newsweek. Bank of Hawaii, member FDIC, an equal housing lender. And we will be right back.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we are back live here on the beautiful campus of Hawaii Pacific University from the eSports Arena, powered by DSE Hawaii. And we're talking about HPU sports, and we've got the HPU Athletics Department Administration with us in studio today. We were just talking about women's basketball. Let's talk a bit about men's basketball and what's happening over there. So I don't know, Baylei, maybe you can give us a little bit of an update on things that were happening over the break, and let's talk about what we can look forward to and some of the dynamics happening with that team.
Very versatile team. I think anyone that comes off that bench for Coach Jesse's team will add to whatever is going on the court.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's kind of scary to see them play because it's like you see these big guys and you think, oh, they're just forwards or they play in the paint, and then they take 3-point shots and they're just sinking them left and right. And it's just knowing the guys, because some of them do work in our department, and knowing how they interact with each other on and off the court is just great. And Coach Jesse's done a great job building that environment.
So great team chemistry. It's
Yes.
keeping them rolling.
Great team, yes, great team chemistry. I have to add to what Baylei said. Coach Jesse really has created a culture there where they are team players. They play for each other. They play hard. They're in the community all the time doing community engagement, community service, working with the kids, providing free camps, clinics, reading, talking about life skills. They have it going on there. Coach Jesse really is intentionally creating a culture that is bringing pride to this university and to our athletic department. So I'm very proud of them, and that's resulting in wins on the court.
I know he's amazing, and boy, he had big shoes to fill too.
He sure
stepping
did.
into that role, and he's filled them and then some.
Yes, he has. He's doing a great job.
Yeah. Well, we're seeing the success on the court, with
Absolutely.
the chemistry and camaraderie of the players. What are some things that we want to look forward to here as we get back into the spring term?
These guys compete. I just love seeing them compete. It's, like I said, anyone picking up the ball, it's a show.
Yep.
They brought in a couple transfers, a couple D1 transfers, and it's just unbelievable to watch them pick the ball up and play.
Very nice, and they're a big team. They lost their big 7-footer from last year.
They did, but they have a good center this year. I mean, he's doing a great job inside. Jonas is strong. He's smart. He runs the floor. I mean, you can see him dunk and rebound and run. I mean, and he has this game face that is something else, right?
A little scary, huh?
You saw it whenever we did the Spectrum game. I mean, he is really in game mode, and he's fun to watch because he's really, really strong. You cannot push him out of there. He's going to stay in there. He's going to go to work. He's going to push the ball in. So it's just really fun to watch him play. He's very versatile and he's very smart. So and he plays as a team. He's a team player. Yeah. He will look for his teammates, kick it out when he needs to.
Yeah.
But
and how important is having a strong center like that?
Oh my goodness!
What does that bring to the team?
Well, yeah, it brings versatility, right? You can go in there to him and he'll do something and contribute there, or like I said, he will kick it out to a teammate who's wide open. And we have, like Baylei said, we have shooters out there at the 3-point line who can really just sink it from out there.
Yeah,
so it really gives options to the team that you must have in order to be successful, especially, like I said, in the Pac West. It's really good competition.
Advantage.
Yeah.
I know for the last game we had, there was this really big forward from Concordia, and probably about twice the size of Visser. And Visser was just going in on him and giving him a hard time. So it was great to watch.
Also running off and leaving him.
Well, Mo, I know you and I both got to watch the Spectrum game broadcast against Hilo and all. And what stands out to you about the team? What are your observations?
I was going to say more for me, Manoa, watching our team play against them. I was really excited about that. But then, I just think, to echo what everybody's saying, great culture, competitive, compete for 40 minutes. It's really exciting, and just excited what Jesse's building there. And the guys are really nice guys too, so it's really exciting. They say hi to you, they engage with you. So it's really exciting.
It's nice. It's nice to see the HPU values of Aloha, Pono, and Kuleana kicking in with all of our sports programs. I know at the administrative level, we're going to have a conscious effort to really bring those values more to the forefront of everything that we do and how we interact with each other. And I think that's one of the special things about our community and the university is the sense of camaraderie that we develop and that spirit of Aloha that we have pervasive throughout this campus.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would agree.
Something I think we should also note about this men's basketball team, Baylei, you mentioned kind of how deep they are and the makeup of the team. They bring in a couple of Division I transfers, another guy who starts for them, a former Division III player. Last year, obviously, they had a lot of success with Diggy Winbush out of the junior college ranks, Josh Niosulu, both of them, unfortunately, out this year with injuries. But, obviously, Hawaii Pacific has kind of become this home for literally anybody from any path, any college, whatever it may be. And I think that's important to note in a world of college athletics that we see so much transferring in, that this kind of has become a home.
And how hard does that, for a coach, when you have players from all those different areas, how hard is that for Coach Jesse to make that team solidified? And isn't that a challenge?
Well, it's definitely a challenge. Absolutely right, it's a challenge, and it has to be an intentional effort with the culture that they start reviewing in the recruiting process. Coach Jesse's very intentional about telling our recruits that here's what we're looking for, here's what our culture needs to be, what we're working toward, and recruiting people who fit into that is very, very intentional.
Yeah.
And it poses a challenge for the whole coaching staff. Coach Cam is very involved with that as well. So we're so proud of what they're doing as a coaching team.
Really impressive to see that team gel.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, HPU is the most diverse university in the country.
It is.
Literally.
That's right, yes.
And we have, and our coaches do an amazing job of recruiting players from all over the planet. I mean, Europe, Asia, obviously the mainland. It's an incredible array of diversity and talent that makes it a special place to be.
Absolutely. And it's very obvious whenever you're sitting in the Shark Tank and listening to the starting lineup. Paco does a great job.
Paco Loco.
Paco Loco. Hey, Paco.
And also players from Hawaii, too.
Yes, and Paco does a great job of identifying those players and where they're from. And when you hear it, you go, oh, my goodness, they're from everywhere. And they're here making a difference on this team. It's very exciting and chicken skin moments,
Yeah, we got to get Paco back on the show. I think he's doing a stand-up showcase this weekend. Anybody know where?
Are you going to it?
I might go.
You should.
Is it fun? Have you been to see it?
No, I'm too scared he'll air me out.
Yeah, he's going to call you out, Baylei. You better stay clear of that.
Me too, probably. He would.
He does send out a text to everybody about where he's going to be and when and all that. So you should get on that text notification, because Paco's.
I'll forward it to you.
Is he he's gonna do the announcing tonight?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Okay, so he'll be there tonight?
Yes, and Paco is Shark through and through. Yeah. I mean, he does other high school games and sometimes from time to time Chaminade, but which is great, but he is a Shark through and through for sure.
Nice. Well, I know he makes the games really exciting to watch with his commentary and makes them fun.
He does.
So, all right, so that's our goal. We're getting Paco Loco on the show.
Okay.
And we've talked about it before and had him on the show just to do a stand-up routine right here.
Yeah, he could do good 5
We'd have
minutes.
to sanitize it a little bit.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
I'd be scared of what he's going to say.
I know. Paul, I don't think we could go live with that show, or at least have a delay and a bleep button, right?
That's going to be up to you,
He's
Paul.
really good with watching his F-bombs. It's more like he's
Topics?
so funny that sometimes he doesn't understand.
True comedian.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Back to basketball.
Yeah.
I want to call out Josh West. Oh my gosh, this young man is having such a great season. He's also so fun. He's very friendly. Like Mo said, they're very welcoming. Anytime you walk into the Shark Tank, they'll say, "Hi, how are you?" They're just they're a very friendly, welcoming group, which is always nice, right? But Josh is fun to watch. He loves basketball, so watching him play, you can tell he loves it.
Yep.
He's having fun out there, but he goes flying in from somewhere, like you think, where did he come from? How did he get there? Type of thing. He's doing a great job and works so hard on defense, which also I appreciate.
Yeah,
he's out
good
there working.
defensive player.
If there's a free ball, he's going to get it. Yep. So I'm having fun watching him, and he's doing a great job.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, I know we've got homecoming coming up. What is that? It's the 8th, I think.
February 8th.
So we'll do the annual faculty staff basketball game.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, and I'll make my third time in that. But that is a great game to come out and watch. It'll be a good basketball game. It'll be fun to watch.
Shark Tank will be packed.
Yep. I think we're gonna have some giveaways hopefully again.
Lots of prizes. Mo has taken care of bringing lots of prizes. Yeah.
We've done like a scooter before, haven't we?
We have done the scooter. It's been hard to get that again, but we have a.
If you want to donate a scooter, please call me ASAP.
Or send us a text on the text line 808.
All right.
888.
Do we have a scooter out there among our listeners that you can? It's tax deductible too. You get a contribution to a university.
Department and HPU.
There you go.
There we go.
All
All right.
The call's out.
All right. Yeah. 808 888 808-888-5481 if you are going to text and
Here
donate
we
a
go.
scooter to the HPU homecoming game. All right, we got to take our last break, but before we do, I just want to remind our listeners that today's episode of Sharks Weekly is brought to you by Hawaii Pacific University's Holamua Commitment. HPU puts a private college education in reach by guaranteeing admission and at least a $15,000 scholarship for local high school students with a 2.75 GPA or higher. Guaranteed admission, guaranteed scholarship. Visit hpu.edu/affordable for details. And we will be right back. You're listening to Sharks Weekly.
You're listening to Sharks Weekly on the Hawaii Sports Radio Networks, 95.1 FM and AM 760.
And we're back for our final segment of the morning. We are with the HPU Athletics Administration team, and we're talking about spring sports. So we talked a bit about men's and women's basketball. I know we've got other sports happening here at HPU. Maybe let's talk a little about baseball. I know we've got the first pitch Paina happening on January 18th. Tell us a little bit about that. What's happening there?
Yeah, so another one of our great coaches and programs, baseball, with Coach Fujinaka. We're excited. He puts this on every year. It's a great way to raise funds for the student athlete and the program. It's a great night. He does have a guest speaker who's coming in, Keone Derini, and he's with the Kansas City Royals, and I learned he's an Iona. No, he's from Iolani. Sorry,
Iolani.
Okay. I'm getting all my
you're getting your EOs mixed up.
Yeah, so he's an Iolani grad, so that's exciting. Local boy, so yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Well, that'll be fun to hit. So, is that open to the public, or is that what's the?
It's a paid fundraiser.
Paid fundraiser. Okay.
Public, yeah.
Fantastic.
And that's going to be a return to Hans Larange Ballpark after 2 years. Is that right?
Yeah, I know we talked a bit with Dane about that. I know the team's excited to get back to that ballpark. You feel that?
That'll be exciting.
Energy?
Yeah, for sure. It's a very familiar place for the team, and I think even for our spectators, everybody, we're really excited to get back there. It was a little difficult out at court, moving around and stuff like that. So it's home for HPU baseball.
Hans Larange Field.
It has been renovated, so there have been some upgrades there to not only the field but the area around the field and the bathrooms. So it's going to be very exciting to be out there and use the updated field.
Very nice. And we got the season opener coming up here.
Yes, February 1st and 2nd versus Drury University, and then they take on North Greenville University, which is a big game for them.
They were national champs in 22, Greenville?
Yes, that's going to be a big game for them.
Yeah.
And just to test where they are right now.
Just a reminder, our baseball team made it to the Pac-West Conference inaugural baseball championship last year, and so it was very exciting to see them go so far and do so well under Dane's leadership. He's another coach that really is creating a culture of winning. You heard him here on the radio show a couple weeks ago talk about his recruiting strategies and recruiting athletes that are used to winning, that have come from winning programs, and just creating a great culture there. A fine group of young men who work really, really hard in the community as well. Dane is a fantastic leader. We're so proud of him on our staff.
And he's got a very clear vision of the team he wants to assemble, the pieces that he wants to put in place, and the talent that he's looking for. And it's situational baseball too. He's looking for people that have specific skills that can come and fill gaps and really put the team into that sort of solidified structure that makes them very tough to beat.
And he really looks at the data too, right? Isn't he a real heavy data guy?
Yes.
He kind of like Billy Bean, kind of looking at the analytics of baseball, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really
Absolutely.
into that.
Not to mention the height of how tall they are. We're
height.
not going to mention that.
Well, he looks at
But
everything.
Would have loved Randy
Very,
Johnson,
very,
right?
very strategic.
He also is very humble, though. Like, if you ask him,
Yeah.
hey, how is your team look? They might not be that good. Very humble.
Yeah,
when it
well,
comes
that's
to
just
that kind of
that's
stuff.
Very
sandbagging
humble.
your competition, right? Well, we're not I don't know how we're going to do tonight. I don't know how well we're going to play. And then he goes in and blows them out, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I know we were talking about analytics earlier, Greg and I, on
Sure.
the way over, and Moneyball, that great movie with Brad Pitt.
So
kinda
important in
started
today's
it.
all sports. All team sports pretty much use analytics. Maybe even tennis uses some analytics, but especially football and baseball, basketball, right? It's so important now.
Yeah, and analytics has changed the game. We were the example being, how many times does a team go for it on fourth down now in football? In their own on their own side of the field even.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems almost foolish not to have done that, right? Because your odds of getting a first down on 4th and 1 are really in your favor unless you've got a really bad offense. So it's really changed the game, but it's interesting that analytics has become such a major part of sports now, both in selecting players, but also making decisions in real
Especially
time.
selecting players like Dane is
and the
shown.
technology too.
Yeah.
We just got a huddle system that all of our programs use, so it's kind of cool. They got all kind of scouting software with it, so it's really exciting. So yeah.
Wow, very cool. Well, all right, so looking past baseball, I know we do have other sports as well. Anything happening with acro as we get rolling?
Acro, it's going to be a really condensed season. We have, I think it's a 3-week season. And 2 of those 3 weeks, one of the weeks is going to be a 2-meet at home. So we're going to be hosting 2 meets.
Okay, so they've got some activity happening.
We host a meet, and then we have a day between, and we host another meet. So, and they're so exciting to watch. Oh my goodness! I don't know if you've been to an acro meet, but they do fantastic things. They fly through the air, they tumble, they land. I don't know. They're
crazy
so
stuff.
Strong. Oh yeah,
Short season, but a lot of activity.
It's so exciting to watch. So exciting.
Yeah,
and she's definitely has a short of athletes right now, so she has a lot of them doing things that they wouldn't. She has the tumblers, doing base, doing tumblers, and it's just great seeing how versatile her athletes are. And she's another coach that is building a great culture.
Yeah.
Daisha is her name. She's our head acro and tumbling coach, and she is fantastic. She's such a worker and so positive, like we've mentioned about other coaches. A great addition to our staff, for
Originally
sure.
from Oregon,
She's
University of Oregon?
She's from here.
She's from here.
Went to Oregon?
She went to Oregon
Right.
and coached there for a couple of years. I should know that, but a couple of years, and now she's back
that's
home.
Great. That's great.
Great experience
Yeah.
and really building the program there.
She went to HPU too, so she's
Oh,
a graduate.
okay.
She's an All-American,
So she's a true shark.
Yeah.
She is for sure.
All-American in acro and tumbling.
And what about tennis? I know we've got a new coach this year. What's happening with tennis?
Yes.
Our first match is against Nevada, Reno. That will be on January 15th. That's for the men's. He's very positive. I haven't seen them play yet, but I've heard nothing but good things come from him.
The athletes love Dan. He was on the show here already once earlier. He's head coach of the men's and the women's this year, which Hendrick sort of set that in place when he did the same. Although we are intending to hire a head men's coach at the end of the season, but Dan's doing a great job of coaching both of our tennis teams and has really good assistant coaches who are helping out. They're going to be strong again. They always are, right? Our tennis teams are very, very competitive.
Right. Traditionally. They've always been very, very
winning the Pac-West Conference, ranking very, very high in regional NCAA play. So we're looking forward to what they do this spring as well.
Very nice. And anything with volleyball or golf that you want to shout out?
Of course, we have beach volleyball, Baylei?
Yes.
Beach volleyball down in Waikiki.
Yeah.
Great place to go and watch a game.
That's true.
It's so much fun down there. They are, practice and compete right on the beach. People who you see there on the beach facing out toward the water, just enjoying, will all of a sudden turn their chairs around so they can start watching the beach volleyball games going on there. And so very fun environment. Yeah, Baylei?
Yes.
Very
and then
nice.
for golf, we have it's going to be away. All their matches are away this year.
Okay. And I know, Debbie, we've talked about doing the remote broadcast for the Pac-West tournament
Absolutely.
again. We did that last year out on the Big Island.
That was so much fun, wasn't it, Jeff?
Yes.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you for being there. It was exciting, and our athletes loved it. The coaches loved it. The athletes who were not our athletes wanted to know how to get them involved on that. Thank you for being there. Let's plan that.
Let's do it again. That was a
again.
blast and great conversations with our student athletes. So
Hey, I have to mention, Coach Ed does a great job with our golf team, and Pearl is now open again. They went through some major renovations. I have not been there, but have to go. But so they're open again, and we are so excited and privileged to be part of that club and be able to practice and compete there. So way to go, Coach Ed.
Nice.
Thank you for your partnership.
I think the last sport I want to mention is softball. We haven't talked about softball yet. I'm definitely excited for them. Again, another coach that if you ask them how do they look,
They're very humble. Yeah, okay.
but I've heard from multiple people that they look really good and that they're ready to compete this year. And Coach Charnette does a really good job at bringing in a lot of local talent.
Yeah, she's
And
a lot
it's
of fun.
not just talent she brings in; it's academics as well.
Yeah. Oh my God! I hear the music.
Super Bowl
picks. All right,
Jeff.
real quick, we're gonna go around the horn. Paul, first. Who's your Super Bowl pick before we start the playoffs?
I guess this is my mulligan. I'm going to go with the Ravens. I really
Okay.
like how Lamar's
All right.
looked.
Ravens,
Okay.
Greg.
Steelers.
Okay, that's a long shot pick. Bayley.
Eagles.
That's a good pick, safe pick. Mo.
Lions.
That's another safe pick. Debbie.
Chiefs.
Boo, boo, boo. Nobody wants to see the Chiefs
And Jeff
in the
is
Super Bowl
going
again.
with.
All right, my heart tells me Buffalo, of course, but my mind tells me Baltimore. I'm going with
You're going with
Paul.
Baltimore.
I think Baltimore is going to be tough to beat, but my heart says
I'm
Buffalo.
shocked.
Because I'm from Buffalo. All right, guys, we are out of time. Have a wonderful week, and we will catch you next week, Thursday at 9 o'clock. Mahalo to all of our guests. Great show. Thank you, everybody.
You've been listening to the Hawaii Sports Radio Network's special presentation of Sharks Weekly in conjunction with Hawaii Pacific University on 95.1 FM and AM 760. A special mahalo to Hawaii Pacific University Executive Director of Athletics, Dr. Debbie Snell, Hawaii Pacific University's VP of Marketing and Communications, Jeffrey Rich, On-Site Technical Engineer Paul Brecht, and Operations Director Ku'ule Agbayani. We now return you to regular scheduled programming on the Hawaii Sports Radio Network, 95.1 FM and AM 760.